Damn, you alright, buddy? Yeah. That was heavy metal, dude.
Welcome back, everybody, and if it's your first time stopping by, thanks for stopping by. Today, what I'm going to do is show you my collection of frames that I've gathered up, and then also with that, my opinion of, or my Holy Grail of BMX frames, which consists of 3. But first of all, I'm going to show you some clips of a brand new skate park I rode the other day, and so have fun watching these. See you back in a second.
Holy shit, that was awesome. What the fuck? Oh, that was so rad.
And now, for what you're really all here for, maybe. My first prized possession has to be the rig that I ride every day. It's nothing super special. It is a custom frame. I don't remember what the specs were. Everything else, really everything on the bike is old. Still rolls really good, so that's what we still ride. But on to the frames. The first one that I'm going to show you is this purple guy right here. The reason why this is one of my prized possessions, I guess, pretty much because it's the first custom frame that I had while riding for Standard. Nothing too crazy about this frame other than it was made with race tubing, so it's standard. It's really a 250L, but super light, 3/8 dropouts and race tubing throughout. At the time, it wasn't a production frame, so it doesn't really count, but it was the lightest frame that had been made, I guess you could say, that had full tubes. Didn't have holes cut all over it. It is just under 4 pounds, so it's, like I said, nothing super special, just super light. It was that era of my life where I thought everything had to be as light as possible. So, moving on. This is the next purple bike. Really, nothing special about this one. This is just a frame that I rode. This essentially replaced the bike that I just showed you. This is also similar to a 250L with just 3/8 race dropouts and a race rear end on this one, I believe. A little bit heavier than that one, but essentially the same thing. A normal 250L for the most part. It doesn't feel any different. So this one's not as special as the last one, just one of the ones that I've kept that just simply will never go anywhere. And now, we're moving on to the real Holy Grail frames, in my opinion. Everybody's gonna have their own opinion of their own Holy Grail. I do have one, however, that I believe it's on everybody's list. We'll get to that one in a minute. But the first one, which is probably my, let's say my favorite one, the most sentimental to me anyways. This is the Standard 250L prototype frame that I got to, well, I really had the privilege to ride many years ago. To tell you how old this frame is, it has headset cups. Well, it doesn't have any in there right now. So most of you guys now that ride probably never ridden a frame that didn't have an integrated headset. So that tells you how long ago this bike was ridden. Good old Euro bottom bracket. So this is just a 250L. just happens to be the prototype that I got to keep. So yeah, nothing much more to say other than this is probably the most valuable for me, you know, as in my opinion. So we're going to move on to the next one. The next one of the Holy Grails, in my opinion, this is a solid KP Ripper frame. This was, in my opinion, this frame started changing the geometry of BMX with the slacker seat tube, a little bit shorter of a rear end of its day. This one also has headset cups. I would have rode this before the prototype 250L, but the biggest thing for me, obviously, is well, not obviously. The biggest thing for me that why I think this is a unique frame is it is before its time because it has a brake cable routing through the seat tube. So I actually have that on my current bike, so kind of crazy to think that 20 years ago Kevin Porter had the idea to run it through the seat tube. So it's kind of cool to think that that's how far ahead of his time he really was on, you know, his ideas for this frame. So this is number 2 for my Holy Grails. So nothing crazy, just a frame that I rode that really, I don't know, maybe helped my riding in a positive way. I don't really know how to explain that. That's just how I feel about it. All right, moving on to what hopefully you're all here for. In this box right here, it's not a Subrosa frame. Don't get worried. Nothing against Subrosa. We have what I consider the real Holy Grail of all BMX frames, especially if you're a mid-school guy. That's just the era that I grew up in, early 2000s. So kept you waiting long enough. What we have here is a 2003 Terrible One Garrett Byrnes frame. This is a 21-inch. For you that don't understand or don't know what this frame really is, back in 2003, there were 50 made of each size, so a total of 150. There was a 20-inch, 50 of those. I want to say it's 20.6, might be wrong, 50 of those, and then 50 21-inch. So yeah, trying to think what to say about this. Oh well, actually in 2003, my father bought me for my birthday, bought me my first super nice BMX bike, and it happened to be number 41 of 50 in 21-inch. I was silly and I got rid of it in 2005-ish. Sold it for way too little, lost track of it. I assume it's gone. But just recently was able to find one. I've been looking for many years. For those who know what these frames are or that look for them, it's very hard to find these. The people that have them don't get rid of them. This one is probably never going to have a different home. Still undecided on what I would like to do with this frame. Keep it a frame, build it period correct, just for, you know, a keepsake, or put like fancy new parts on it and, you know, give it a ride. It's definitely not the type of bike that I ride these days. Pretty polar opposite of, you know, the old rig right here. Frame weighs a lot. So to give you an idea how old this bike is, if you're unaware, this has American bottom bracket. The only bikes that come with American bottom bracket these days are just super cheap Walmart China bikes. Still has headset cups. This would be the oldest frame here. So yeah, I don't know what more to say other than I'm stoked to have this. This is probably the, I'm trying to think of the words here. The frame that I'm most stoked to have, only because I've been looking for one for a very long time. Mainly because I was bummed that I got rid of the one that I had. Now, the 250L frame, probably means a lot more to me, but this is a different, I don't even know, a different meaning, I guess. My first favorite rider, Garrett Byrnes. Little Devil Criminal Mischief video was the first video I ever bought. So that has a lot to do with why I wanted this frame, why I didn't ride pegs, why I rode a low seat. It all started with Garrett Byrnes. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this little video of some history. I don't know if it's much history, but what I like, what I grew up with. So yeah, but anyways, again, hope you enjoyed it. See you next time. See you some other video. Bye. Peace. Ride some bikes.